There's a threat in the world today. A threat to our way of living, a threat to our society, and maybe even a threat to our very existence. And what is this threat?
All right, so there you have it, our esports coordinator.
Be good.
Coordinator, correspondent, however you want to look at it. So we are branching out.
Did you try that sausage mac and cheese thing?
Yeah, it was good.
Holy moly.
It was sausagey.
Holy mac and cheese, Batman. Rob, that stuff was good. The sausage mac and cheese was awesome.
All right, so there you have it.
Yes.
The esports division, the new esports division of Black and White Entertainment, or Black and White Media, Black and White
Sports One, man. That's the network.
It's the network.
BW Sports One is the network.
We're a
He
Facebook
is-
Live network.
Yes, he is the one. I am the ass. We are Black and White Sports, folks.
And we are at the Stadium Tavern, downtown, 802 Southwest Street.
Yes, I love it.
There's Lucas. Oh, actually, that's beer. So
Right out there is
That
Lucas Oil
window
Stadium.
down there
Hold
is
on,
Lucas
folks.
Oil
I'm going to
Stadium.
readjust.
we got to readjust. We got to shift a little bit from the left to the right.
Woo!
So while we're doing that, we got about
There we go.
16 minutes left to go in
There we
our
go.
our little adventures here. So I want to run down real quick over the previous weekend here in the state. The biggest sporting event that was going on was the girls, the Indiana high school girls state basketball championships.
Yep.
For all the classes, the 1A, 2A, 3A, and 4A. Excuse me. And the winners that we have for that weekend, I guess the first session, Class A state championship, we had Marquette Catholic against Vincent's something. Marquette Catholic handled their business 57-36. Actually, Mackenzie and I did watch that game on television. Actually, we started watching it in the car on the way home from practice.
Yeah.
Well, I picked her up from Saturday practice, 8th grade, practicing on Saturdays in the morning. That's great. So I picked
Dude,
her
I
up
got
from
them 4th
practice.
and 5th graders practicing at 10 o'clock every Saturday.
That's that
Get
is
your
awesome.
butts up and come in.
So we watched a little bit of that game, finished it up at the house. Didn't peek in too much on the second game. I was grocery shopping. She watched it. So that first game, man, them girls were hooping. Even though it was Class A,
Mm-hmm.
there were some hoopers out there. So there was between shucking corn, they shoot jump shots. That's bad. I'm
Wow.
sorry. That's bad. Then you had Class 2A. You had Oak Hill over Winchester Community.
No. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm looking at the boys now.
No.
Back to the girls.
Yeah,
My bad.
You had Oak Hill over Winchester Community in the 2A state title. They won 54-42. Session 2, which we did watch and finish up.
Did you go there?
No, we watched a little bit. We watched most of that on TV and finished it up there when
Okay.
they were getting the medals. You had Northwestern out of Kokomo, and just real quick, I'd like to throw a shout out to Northwestern out of Kokomo. Their coach, Miss Layden, is the wife of a teammate of mine in high school that we graduated together out of Lawrence North,
Okay.
Jeff Layden, who was an Indiana All-Star. His wife and daughter, she's the coach. She's the star player. I think she's going to Purdue next year.
Uh-oh.
Well, not next year because she's a junior. She's going to Purdue in 2 years. She'll be a senior next year.
Okay.
So I think it's their second straight state final, and it's her mother's 5th state title. She won 3 at a 1A, and now it's her second at 3A. So she's, I think, is now second in all-time coaching state titles in the state of Indiana.
Nice.
So just give a little shout out to an old teammate, and his family doing well up in Northwestern, and they beat Benton Central, who was just completely outmatched.
I can only imagine. I didn't get a chance to watch it, but yeah, I can only imagine.
They were completely outmatched. Nice program up there at Northwestern. And then you have the one that my daughter and I attended.
The 4A state
champions.
finals.
The 4A state finals. My daughter and I both attended this game live.
You're an alma mater. That's your alma mater.
My alma mater, Lawrence North, and which was their first girls' state title appearance, state finals appearance. And they were going up against appearance. They were going up against the number one team in the state, Hamilton Southeastern. Very good game.
Yeah.
Very good game.
And I would say that the inning score did not really tell how good of a game that was.
Correct. There was a lot of free throws at the end, but yeah,
because we were watching a little bit of it.
Man, she had 33 and 11, bro.
Oh, she
was doing it. Pearson.
Yeah,
I got him right here.
I was gonna say that name sounds familiar.
I didn't put up. I can look at the box scores, but
it was good.
Man, what a great game. I mean, and it looked like Lawrence North was just going to go away. Hamilton Southeastern went up 8, I think, with like 4 minutes, less than 4 minutes left to go in the game.
Yep.
And next thing you know, a young sophomore that my daughter played against when she played up in AAU, she normally plays up. So, girl that we've seen a lot. I think she plays for the Gym Rats.
Okay.
Really nice player, really good stroke. I think she hit 3 big threes right down the stretch. And next thing you know, Lawrence North has an opportunity. Just about got a steal, almost tied it up. Just got a steal, almost tied it up, and then the free throws went ahead and did the free throw thing to finish it out. But it was a really good game for Hamilton Southeastern. That Lawrence North program is going to be pretty good. They got a lot of young players. So,
yeah, they do. Congratulations to all the girls teams that played in the state finals. Congratulations, obviously, to the winners.
Mm-hmm.
I got a quick thing I want to discuss real quick. I saw this yesterday or the day before. I think it was yesterday. It was a USA basketball is wanting to stop zone defenses until like 7th or 8th grade. And I am totally, being a coach of a 4th and 5th grade program, I totally agree with it. I want to hear your thoughts and opinions on this, but my thoughts is kind of like what USA Basketball is saying. You're not really teaching the kids anything when you put them in the zone defense. It's all about winning. The coach must have the mentality of it's all about winning to play a zone defense at, in 6th grade and lower, because you're not teaching them really much of anything about movement on the court, getting them involved. You're teaching them about how to contain a zone. You need to contain a man, woman, man, girl, boy, whatever. But you need to stay on man. In my opinion, they should just play man-to-man defense. What are your thoughts?
Me personally, being a person throughout my basketball career, 95% of the coaches that I played for were man-to-man defense or man-to-man defense type coaches. I think zones are appropriate for certain situations, but I'm not a fan of the zone. One reason I'm not a fan of the zone because generally kids tend to get lazy in the zone.
Mm-hmm.
You don't block out. And it's hard to, when you're in a zone, it's hard to identify who you are to block out.
Exactly.
On the defensive boards. And kids tend to get lazy. Even grown men tend to get lazy when you sit in zones. And the worst zone that you can probably sit in, it will be a 2-3.
Yep.
Because that's the one that you really just sit around. Now, I am a fan of matchup zones, trapping zones. Matchup zones is you're playing the zone, but you still have man principles.
Mm-hmm.
Trapping zones, I think, are good for spurt change of
Right.
defensive paces.
Right.
But then when it comes down to the youth level, I'm not a real big fan of it because a zone is how you hide the weaker players
Flaws.
on your team.
Well, plus all you need is one big person in the middle.
And because
they're going to sit there.
And depending on the level of youth play, most of them can't shoot jump shots anyway.
Exactly.
So if you sit in the zone,
they're going to
you're not teaching offense and you're not teaching defense as well. So I think I for a point I agree with the USA Basketball as in taking away zone, because at that point then you can teach proper fundamental defense, getting down in your stance, hands up, lead foot up for whichever side of the floor you're on, sliding your feet, being able to open, rotate, communicate, all the things that you need to do on defense that you would learn in a man. Once you learn how to play man defense, then it becomes easier to play zone. And then you have those guys that like to play passing lanes and read things like that. So I do agree with teaching man and man being your primary defense.
Right.
Because then at that point, if you are a prideful person, then you take more pride in your defensive production. So if you get to hide behind zone, then you don't really know how good of a defensive player that you really are.
I agree.
Which compounds on to something else that I saw that I've heard Jason Williams mention a couple times of USA Basketball talking about up to a certain point eliminating the three-point line, which I don't have a problem with, because at that point you can get kids to work on the fundamentals again of the game.
Instead of worrying about taking a jump shot from 30 feet.
Yes, because I see too many in the AAU scene. I see too many kids shooting bad shots because they don't know how to shoot.
Exactly.
Their fundamentals are wrong. Their technique is wrong. Their form is wrong. They're not shooting the ball, and it's more pushing the ball. You're not a high percentage shooter.
Right.
So I think that takes away your development of the game. If you take out the three-point line, and then at that point, kids learn how to shoot the ball, learn how to space the floor, and then you add the three-point line in, and then they test your range.
When do you do
once
that?
Their
Middle
mechanics
school?
are good. Once their mechanics are good.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So that's development on the kid, because that's where your AAU and your club ball comes in, because then you have different levels. You know, you have your C levels, your B levels, your A levels. So the development of your kid and development of their fundamentals, development of their game. So if they're doing form shooting underneath the rim with the elbow in, full extension with your shoulder, follow through with your gooseneck wrist, then as you step out, you learn your footwork, you add your footwork in it, your 1-2, you're setting up your footwork to shoot your fundamentally formed shot. So then when you step out to the three-point line, you're not changing anything with your form. It's all muscle memory, and all you're doing is just gauging your strength. So
I agree. I agree.
with it.
Okay. Yeah, I read that yesterday, and it's like, that's exactly what I've been telling, my assistant coach that's been with me through the girls team and this year. It's like, I call the zone defense a lazy man's defense.
Definitely.
I mean, and I don't really even want my boys learning that defense.
Unless you're running like a 1-3-1 trapping defense at your corners and your wings, or if you're running 1-2-2.
They ain't there yet.
You're right. I mean, me personally, I'm a fan of a boxing one. A lot of teams don't play it anymore, and I think in the AAU scene, a boxing one would be a very effective defense.
Yeah, because you got one.
You normally got one
monster.
Yep.
Like on a defense in football, call him the monster linebacker.
Yep.
He's zoning in on one person
or your spy.
Exactly.
Yep. So you got that one person that guards that best player, and you don't do nothing. You don't help defense. You just shadow that player all over, and that forces the other players to be
involved. Yeah, exactly.
Right. So
exactly. I agree.
They don't use it as much. Most coaches go to the 1-3-1. Me personally, I like a boxing one.
I agree over that, but I don't agree with it being in 4th and 5th grade levels, 6th grade. I mean,
no, I think 6th grade would be a pretty good time, because 6th grade is a good transition.
Yeah. When you jump from elementary ball to middle school ball, I can see it taking its form in that league.
Yeah, I agree.
Yep. Cool.
Yeah,
It's been real.
it always is.
It always is.
Always is.
The one, the ass, black and white sports, folks. Check all the awesomeness out. BWSports1.com. We also got shout out to Sunday's show at 11 a.m. Checkers and Wreckers. Sean Tommy Boy Stevens, Chris Howdy Hyatt, bringing you the motorsports world.
We're gonna have to record. We go, howdy, howdy.
Ooh, that was loud. Sorry, guys. Broke your eardrums. Yeah. The one, the ass, black and white sports, coming to you again from Stadium Tavern, 802 Southwest Street. Thank you, Rob. The sausage mac and cheese balls.
He's politicking
awesome.
right now.
He's politicking with the Saints recruiter, folks.
That will be New Orleans Saints. I'm on two mics. Call me two mics.
Two mics.
Two mics in the house. So, we could shout out all of our social media outlets, but
we don't have to anymore
because
you go to one spot.
Go to one spot. You go to bwsports1.com.
Boom.
And you can hit all of our social outlets, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, SoundCloud,
Apple Play, Google Play, whatever, yay.
Whatever streams we do it.
We're all on them. All over the place.
We're universal.
That's right.
All right, I'm done holding two mics.
And you know what we are, right?
What?
Look for that hashtag. Just two guys talking sports.
1, 2. 1 plus 1 is 2.
And on that note, I'm hitting the button.
But we're going to keep it sporty, Indy, and we're out of here.
That too. I'm hitting the button now, D.
Well, hit it, damn it.